Hey everyone, I'm CAILIN. I'm one of the models in the 2014 Trans Calendar project. And while I was working on the music for our Indiegogo video, I figured I should also do an intro video. So yeah, here it is. I'm probably going to do this in kind of like a question answer style. So ask a question and then answer it. Sort of top 10 most asked questions. Okay, here we go. Number 1, who are you? My name is CAILIN, I'm 20 years old, I live in Toronto, and I'm a student. Number 2, how do you identify? I identify as a trans woman or a transgender woman. Technically the medical term would be transsexual, but I don't know, for some reason that term just doesn't really jive with me, so I like trans. It's a good umbrella term. Number 3, do you like men or women? Well, the answer to that question is both, and neither, and everything in between. I'm what you would call pansexual, which means everyone on the gender spectrum gets a totally free pass to potential likingness stuff. Yay! Number 4, how did you become transgender? Well, first of all, that's problematic on a couple levels because I didn't become transgender. I basically have been my entire life, but I didn't realize it until recently. If you're talking about when I actually sort of made the realization and started going through the process of transitioning, it was about a little less than 2 years ago that I sort of realized that I was transgender and not just weirdly sexually confused or something. And then it was about 6 months ago, a little bit more than 6 months ago, that I sort of started hormone therapy, and then I started estrogen about 5 and a bit months ago. So 6-month anniversary coming up soon, yay! Number 5, what was coming out like? Coming out was such a better experience than I could have ever anticipated. I went through a hugely depressive period after I realized I was transgender because I figured coming out would be the worst part, that it would ruin all my future opportunities. I might be discriminated against, and even worse, my family might find it difficult to cope with my identity. Because when you come out as trans, it's not the same as just coming out as gay, where, you know, people can just love you and accept you for the same person. People have to change around you when you come out as trans. They have to use new pronouns and a new name, and think of you in a whole different way. And really, you're not ever different than you were before. But from the external perspective and just in changing those small things, it can be uncomfortable for people. So I was really worried about that. But I came out first to just a couple close friends, and they sort of supported me during that rough period. And then eventually to my parents and my sort of family, my close family. And yeah, like I said, way better than I could have ever anticipated. Everyone was supportive. They were all still loving and even willing to sort of like use different name and pronouns, but I didn't really start that till much later. And then just recently, at the beginning of July, like right after Toronto Pride, I came out on Facebook and publicly and at the school, at work. And that too has just been completely accepting and completely amazing, much more than I could have ever anticipated. Number 6. What are you doing with your life right now? So, like I said, I'm a student. I'm studying at the University of Toronto, and I'm studying a degree in planetary science, which is a pretty interesting field that maybe not everyone has heard of. It's very interdisciplinary, so it combines math, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and geology, and I love all of those subjects. It's really an amazing program. And specifically right now I'm doing a summer research project looking at a planetary phenomenon. I'm looking at mantle convection, so movement of rocks, of a sort of semi-molten rock beneath the surface of one of Jupiter's moons, Io. And in the future, I'm hoping in the future to go on to grad school to keep studying planetary science, get a PhD degree in that, and then eventually my ultimate, crazy dream aspiring goal would be to be part of a scientific team to a mission to Europa, which is another one of Jupiter's moons, but this one has the potential to harbor life in a subsurface ocean on it, which I just think is amazing and would absolutely relish the chance to be a part of. Number 8. How did you become a part of this project? I was actually originally contacted by Alex, who I'd sort of met before this, and he didn't have enough people who are on the trans feminine spectrum applying to be part of it. So yeah, he contacted me and I said, sure, why not? And I'd never done any modeling. I rarely am good in front of cameras in general, so it was kind of a big undertaking for me, but I figured it was good to get representation out there. Number 9. Why a calendar? Because calendars are awesome! No, but seriously, I think it's a great way to get representation of real trans people out into the community, the LGBT community, and into the wider public, which I really think is sort of sorely lacking. Representations of just sort of everyday people who just happen to be trans as well. And the great diversity that we have, you know, there's a tendency for media, movies, and things like that to play up certain stereotypes, obviously, about what trans people are supposed to look like. And I think it's great that we have another resource, another media source that is a great reflection of our gender and sexuality and ethnic diversity and all of that. And finally, number 10. Would you rather fight 100 horse-sized ducks? No, I'm just kidding. What are your hopes for this project going forward? I'm really hoping this can actually sort of break outside the transgender community and go far beyond, possibly to the LGBT community and hopefully even to beyond just sort of allies and people who know about it, but to the general public, that we can somehow get ourselves and this calendar and the images of us as real people out into the sort of general public consciousness, because I think that's really what's necessary in order to promote social change. Like the gay rights movement, for instance. It starts when people actually know gay people and don't think of them just as this other that can be, you know, ostracized and separated from them. They're family members, they're brothers, they're sisters, they're parents and whatever. And so I think the same thing has to happen with trans people before we will gain that same level of acceptance and the same rights that are currently fast becoming a reality for gay people in North America. So that's all for me. I just want to say thank you to everyone for liking us on Facebook and for tweeting us and for viewing our YouTube videos, because this project would not be possible without all of your support. And really it's about getting a different perspective of trans people out into the community and raising funds for those who are struggling to fund their transitions and for the artists who are struggling to make a living practicing their craft, as amazing and talented as they are. So yeah, thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart and from everyone at the Trans Calendar Project, and have a great day. Psst, bonus question, boxers or briefs? Boy shorts.